Everyone, and welcome to this evening's executive meeting. My name is Councillor Davey and I'm the chair of this committee. I would like to welcome you all to this meeting of the executive. The members of the executive are, and if you could raise your hand to acknowledge you're here, Councillors Bird.
Here, Chair.
Councillor Gilderdale.
Here, Chair.
Councillor Holloway.
Here, Chair.
Councillor Smart. Councillor Smart. No. Are you here, Councillor Smart?
Here, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Smith. Thank you. And we have apologies from Councillors Wade, Thornborough and Moore. And can I just welcome all the councillors here, and particularly to the officers who are still here. And finally, can you confirm you're here, Councillor Bennett, so that people know for the record?
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Bennett reporting for duty.
And thank you for making us smile at this time of the evening, Councillor Bennett. And as I say, if I just reiterate, thanks very much to Jodie, Jane, Boris and Claire for remaining to help us through this part of the meeting. In terms of trying to be brief, I don't want to shorten the meeting necessarily, but just to say that the usual housekeeping rules will apply. Those present in the council, please note that the usual rules relating to use of laptops, microphone and cameras apply. And if you do wish to speak, please raise your hand. I don't think there's any, oh, there is. Is there anybody on Teams, Boris? Okay, so moving on to item 2 on the agenda, please could councillors declare if they have any declarations of interests and identify which item their declaration might refer to. For the minutes, there have been no declarations of interest. Moving on to item 3. The minutes of the October 22nd, 24 meeting have been submitted to this meeting for approval. Are there any concerns? And if so, please could members raise your hands now, otherwise they shall be approved as a correct record. In which case, I shall sign those and give those to Claire. As there are no public questions, can we move immediately to agenda item 5, the HRA budget setting report, BSR 25-26. Chief Finance Officer, Jodie, would you like to introduce the report?
Thank you, Chair. I introduced this report in full at the Housing Scrutiny Committee on the 4th of February, so I don't intend to repeat my comments again, but happy to take any questions. Just to note that the recommendations on the covering report, there is a slight change for executive, so the covering report is as it went to Scrutiny Committee. Recommendations A to T are as stated in the report, but just to note that the recommendation is for the executive as a whole to refer these to full council rather than a recommendation for the executive councillor as it was at Housing Scrutiny, if that makes sense. Thank you.
It does indeed, Jodie, thank you very much. Councillor Bird, is there anything you'd wish to add before we move on to questions from other executive councillors?
Not at the moment, just one thing on declarations of interest. I forgot to say I'm on the KIP board.
Grateful, Councillor Bird. Councillor Smith has his hand raised too.
And exactly the same member of the KIP board.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. In which case, can I go first to, are there any questions from the opposition councillors? Councillor Bennett, do you have any questions on HRA?
Chair, I hadn't actually asked permission to ask any questions, but if I may.
Councillor Bennett, you're more than welcome to answer any questions.
Thank you. I apologise for not giving a page number, but it's more of a general question, which is that Councillor Bird has noted that although 60% of tenants do have some sort of state benefit help, that some of them are still struggling. And we just wanted to mention that we have very good financial inclusion officers, and they've been able to support some of those tenants to maximise their social security benefits and access other funds. And you know, we just hope that all ward councillors with, you know, council tenants in their ward who are having financial difficulties will take up referrals to financial inclusion officers. And I can say that I used to have a sideline doing pro bono financial advice on benefits in the 10 years before I became a councillor, and that the officers know more than I do.
Thank you, Councillor Bennett. Do you wish to respond, Councillor Bird?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, definitely. I always tell residents when I speak to them where to go. It's very important because when you are on, when you're not on benefits and your rents and everything go up, of course your budget's gone down, and then you're on the poverty line, and that's when the time is to tell them to claim universal credit, contact the council first before you can get in trouble with your rent. So I do agree with you, Councillor Bennett, it's a very important thing.
Thank you, Councillor Bird. Do you have any other questions, Councillor Bennett?
No, because Councillor Tong has already spoken about this at HRA.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Bennett. Do the executive councillors have any questions or comments that they wish to make on the HRA? I'll take that as no. The recommendations are on pages 3 to 10 of the agenda. Can I therefore see all those from the executive who are in favour of those recommendations?
It's unanimous, Chair.
That's, thank you, Claire, that's unanimous. And thank you, the recommendations are therefore approved. And that now concludes the executive meeting. Can the producer, oh no, hang on, we've got the BSR. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I read my script very poorly there. As there are no public questions relating to the BSR, can we therefore move on to item 6? And this obviously was printed in the circulation agenda. Before I ask Jodie to introduce this report, do members wish to comment or discuss Appendix 2? We would have to undertake a public interest test to exclude any members of the public or the press. So that's a question about the confidential last page that we received at SNR. Anybody wish to discuss that? In which case we won't. Jodie, do you want to introduce the report? Although I'd first like to ask Councillor Robertson, as the chair of SNR, if there's anything he would like to say, and particularly to confirm the comments made at the meeting to the executive.
We had a wonderful meeting and I endorse everything that was said.
Thank you, Councillor Robertson. Everything included? I won't challenge you with some of the questions, but anyway, thank you, Councillor Robertson. Jodie, as the Chief Finance Officer, please introduce the item.
Thank you, Chair. This is a General Fund Budget Setting Report for 25-26. Again, I introduced the item in full at the Strategy and Resources Committee meeting on the 10th of February, about an hour ago. I don't intend to repeat my comments, but happy to take any questions. Recommendations for this one have not been published with the agenda, but they are, as per the SNR paper, recommendations A to P, and once again they are recommendations for the executive as a whole to please recommend the budget to full council on the 24th of February. Thank you.
Jodie, thank you very much. Councillor Smith, is there anything you'd wish to say before I open up for questions?
I have nothing to add, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Bennett, do you have any questions?
No, thank you, Chair. I have asked for questions. I was able to before my laptop abandoned me.
Thank you very much. There will, of course, be further opportunities at full council, I suspect, for you to press us further. Executive Councillor, there's nothing to respond to. Are there any questions from the Executive Councillors that have not been said in the Strategy and Resources Committee? I see no questions. So therefore, the recommendations are on the pages attached of the agenda. Can I therefore see all those in favour?
Unanimous, Chair.
Thank you very much, Claire. That's for the minutes, they were unanimous. And that then concludes the meeting of the executive. Thank you so much. And thank you particularly, again, as I say, to the officers for your attendance. Much appreciated. Bye-bye now.